My undergrad graduate degree in Newcastle in sport and exercise science, so I had that knowledge. And then my master's in exercise physiology, and then now I say I'm doing my PhD in PKU and sport at Birmingham. So it's trying to get as many answers as we can in the 3 years to try and get some better advice for how to manage PKU and exercise, physical activity. It's not just for, those that are really active into sport, but just general activity as well. And, walking, for instance, it's the big spectrum of activity and how that feeds into nutrition, how that feeds into recovery, that big aspect really. And yeah, so we're trying to find out some answers really for how to best manage it. Got, as I said, a bit of a task to complete, but yeah, that's how I kind of came to where I am today.
So you have to love Annie, yeah? Gosh, what an intelligent woman. Thankfully, she's in our community and she's active, because she's right. There's not enough research and answers surrounding the recovery of, after exercise when having this condition. I know, I'm sure you do if you've got this condition too, that, if it is extreme tiredness that you've experienced, if it is not knowing how to even count calories or even break down macros of carbs and how much protein or how much fat you should be having, to just generally feeling good when exercising, there's limited research in it. And it makes sense. It does make sense, because historically it was about, the medical science world was just trying to keep us safe and alive up here, functioning so we could exist in this world like we are. And the first step of that was the diagnosis. The second step was the low protein diet and the development of products so we can actually get calories in and nutrients in so we can function. Then it's the longevity of our life and figuring out how to then do this over a long period of time. And so now we're getting, I feel like, in the developed world where the diagnosis takes place, we're getting to a stage where health and well-being is more at the forefront of lots of people's minds, especially mine. And so when I started this journey 5-6 years ago, there was very limited information out there. In fact, the truth is, there was probably only one individual that I could turn to in order to get starting support and guidance on, just having an idea of where to even start. And thankfully, that woman is in this video. She is awesome. Not Annie. Annie's great too, but Kit, who works at VitaFlow, used to be a dietitian in the NHS. I was able to turn to her for support and to try and understand how to even start counting calories, how to even start breaking down macros, like any fitness trainer would do for a client, so we can look to manage our weight, determine how much we're eating, and figure out weight loss or muscle mass development or whatever it might be. But as Annie's talking about, her research is going to look into the effects that PKU has on us, but also relating to sport and exercise. And I think that's so important. So Annie, I know you're going to watch this. I am so grateful for you, and I will continue to say it because I do say it a lot, I know that. But I am very much the person that if someone is worth praise and is devoting their energy and their resource, yes, to figure out stuff for themselves, information for themselves to live better, as I know you're doing, but you know as well as I know, and as well does VitaFlow and the medical professionals around you, that the research that you're doing is going to have such an amazing impact into the future of this condition. The metabolic health has been explored, but even that's in its new stages, I feel like. But you're taking this to a new level that's going to be so important for all of us, I think, with this condition. So if you have this condition, even if you're not signed up to Annie's group study for her PhD, even if you haven't gone through that process, I did. I've been there at the early stages when she started conducting her research. Then at least give her a follow her journey, see how it progresses, because, from a PhD, there'll be numerous studies done. There'll be numerous research that stems off from this. There'll be lots of questions answered, and there'll be lots of questions unanswered. And it's the unanswered questions, hopefully, that then brings in more research, more professionals who are interested, and more focus on those unanswered questions. It could be, how do we get more nutrition in our body, such as protein? Are we getting enough? Does exercise impact us metabolically? Does it impact our Phe levels in the 24 hours after? Why are we getting so tired, or some of us at least, after doing intense exercise? What is it that's happening? Why is it happening? And what can we do to limit it moving forward? Because we know that exercise is so important for not only our mental health, but our physical health as well. But what are the implications of having a metabolic condition like this on that? It's significant and it's unexplored. And luckily, we've got Annie, who is doing that for us. Yay, thank God. This is not to put extra pressure on her, because it's not going to answer every question that we have, but it is a starting platform for us to explore her findings, because it's so important. And as a result of this, there are medical professionals around her, rallying around her, thank God, because she's so awesome, that will look at the findings here, and from that, who knows what will happen. So Annie, I'm not here to put more pressure on you. You probably put enough on yourself as it is. But I just want to say thank you for you. Thank you for all the hard work you're putting yourself through. It's hard enough with this condition to focus and learn anyway, especially if the diet levels are not in check. And that's not sometimes in our control. They go up and down anyway. And so on those ups, focusing and learning can be a lot harder. And the fact that you've gone through an undergraduate degree, now a postgrad degree, and you're not the only one, other people have done it as well, but now you're exploring a PhD, which is incredibly difficult and demanding, but you're also doing it in a subject that's, so relevant for our lives. But this is just to give you the respect and recognize, one, how awesome you are. I've met you a few times now and you're lovely. We've been messaging for years, and I know you message with loads of people. You're so active in the community. But this is also to recognize how bloody intelligent you are. And you know what? Even if it doesn't, let's just say it doesn't. Let's say for whatever reason, it doesn't get the data that you're hoping, or collecting data from the way you're conducting your research proves impossible. Let's just say that's the case and that's the outcome of all of this. I know you'll be disappointed. I know you will. We know that's not going to happen, but let's say it does. If it just brings it into the spotlight that this is a problem that people are facing, my God, we've got to a new level. Yeah, we've got to a new place that we hadn't got to before, because there are people stepping out and saying that this is a factor for them and has been for a very, very long time. So if this brings answers, brilliant. If it doesn't, at least the question has been posed and put out there, and we now know it's a problem. And this is being spoken about now at numerous PKU events across the world. So this is great. I'm so thankful for this. I'll put her name in the description so you can give her a follow as well, because this is going to be a long journey. PhDs don't happen overnight, and she knows this. Yeah. As more information filters through, she's sharing her journey with this condition anyway, as well as her academic life as well. So I'm sure that information will come out in due course. But in order to actually get access to that, you're going to have to give her a follow. So do so.